Alright guys, I've just got the engine apart in this 40 Packard. It's the 356 engine, and she was full of water, and I've hammered and beat up wood and cut things, and I've got it apart. Let me let you look at it. And here are all the pistons. As you can see, they look a little rough. Actually, they're had some couple of broken rings, and they don't look. I won't know until I get them cleaned up to see just exactly how bad they are. But all the wrist pins, well, they move with lubricant. But they're not terrible. The wrist pins aren't locked up, and that's a big plus. But I won't know what they're going to be like until I get them cleaned up, see what the ring grooves look like, because they do have some broken rings in them. Rings still. There's one that's gone. I mean, it was there, but it fell out. Here it is. Yeah, that's it. And the ring groove, I don't know. We'll have to see. I won't know. Like I said, I won't know what the ring grooves are going to be like until I get it cleaned up. The cam's out of it, and it looks like it'll work as a bump stick. Even as much water as it had in it for as long as it had, it's pretty daggone good. I mean, I was expecting a lot worse than what it is. It was a bear to get apart. I used a bunch of pieces of wood to knock the pistons out. And the Valvetrain was what gave me the most trouble. Now I've got everything out of the Valvetrain. I had to chop some valves in two because I just couldn't get them out with the lifters in it. So I had to cut them and pull the spring out, pull the cam out, pull the lifters out, and then get in there with a punch and knock the valve out. And there's the punch I used right there. There's another one I cut off. So I know I'm going to have to get some exhaust valves. It looks like I have one intake valve that might be, I think it's going to be iffy. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to have to get at least one intake valve and probably a whole set of exhaust to try to make something out of it. But it was a hoot, let me tell you. I've made a hell of a mess in my garage. I put plastic down, but this stuff that came out of it, I drained the pan for 2 days. But what came out of it after I flipped it upside down would look like jelly and peanut butter mixed together. It was horrible. And of course it made a hell of a mess. So I guess now today I'm going to see if I can get this engine. I'm going to take the bell housing off of it to lighten it a little bit and strip all the oil galley plugs out of it and take it out and power wash it. I have a steam cleaner, and see if that'll knock some of the goo out of it, and then start cleaning it up and seeing what I got to work with here. Yeah, I just, you don't know about anything. The oil covers up so much. But we'll see. The crank, boy, we talk about a heavy crank. I had to use the hoist to get the crank out. And of course, flywheels on it, so that added probably 80 pounds to the crankshaft. And the crankshaft's already heavy. Yeah, but it's, I'm glad I had the hoist. But the crank is not even rusty. Like I said, this thing's been full of water completely, like it was underwater for who knows how long. If I had to guess, I'd say at least 8 years. And yet there's no signs of it. I guess the gorp in the oil pan was so heavy that the water just couldn't get to anything. So it's I'm really surprised. But I can clean the crank up. None of the journals and throws and the mains, all that stuff are look like they're pretty straight, and I didn't see any scars. And as far as just feeling it with your hand, it feels good. I'll clean it up real good and polish it and throw a mic on it and see if any of them go less than a half-inch out. And if they don't, she's going back together that way. All the bearings look good. They were stained, but none of them had terrible scratches, and yeah. So they didn't look terrible. They're just discolored pretty good, but they're almost usable again if I were just to wool them. But we'll see about all that. Oh, what a big old mess here. I mean, it's there's the side covers. You can see the signs of the water that was in it. Side covers took it on the chin a little bit. So we'll see. And I looked at parts last night on the internet, and so I found a set of exhaust valves for like $60. They're used, of course, but they've been faced, and the stems look good. They weren't worn, so that's better than $180 or $119. That's about average for what they run. So I'm going to do that. And gaskets for this thing, a gasket kit is almost $300, so that's going to hurt. I mean, this car probably isn't worth $300. Yeah, but we'll see. Oh boy, my hands are. Oh, that's a clean hand. That's a dirty one. Yesterday I went in, my wife said, "What the hell's all over your leg?" I had oil that splattered when I dropped something, and it was all over my socks, my shoes, side of my leg. It was terrible. She almost wouldn't let me in the house. So, working on engines, especially when they're greasy, is fun. All right. Well, there's not much to see. It's all ugly. I'll give you another look once I get it all clean. And we'll see just how bad everything is. And so until next time, I could be working on anything. I've got clean projects, but I'm working on the nastiest and dirtiest and the most expensive. So I'll tell you, man, nobody said I was smart. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.